today we're going to do some more questions on circumferences and areas of circular shapes. Now, before we start, there are steps to find the circumference or area of a circular shape. Now, step 1 is to find the radius, r, because we are from here on, we're going to use the formula 2 pi r for the circumference, not pi d, but 2 pi r, because the 2 pi r is useful to use if we want to find the area afterwards, because the area is in a radius term, because it's a pi r squared. So if we found the radius for circumference, we can use that radius for area. So from here on, we're going to use 2 pi r, but if you want to use pi d, that's fine. And that's our first step, finding a radius. Step 2, you need to choose correct formula. If it's a circumference, we'll use 2 pi r. If it is finding an area, we'll use pi r squared. Okay, so those are the two formulas we have to choose. Now, question 1, part A, there's about 5 parts. And remember, answer in 2 decimal places. So, first one, now step 1. What is my r? This 6 here is not radius, it's a diameter because it goes from one end to the other end. Also, it goes through the center. So, it's the diameter. So, what is a radius? Radius is a half of the diameter. So, diameter is 6 divided by 2. Half of 6 is 3. So, my radius is 3 meters. Okay, so that's my radius. Now, second step, I need to pick my formula. Now, circumference is 2 times pi times r, but that's going to give me the full circle round. And have a look at the diagram that we have. It doesn't really suit us for this diagram because it's only half semicircle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide by 2 to make it half round. Now that's only going to give us the curve part. That's not the whole distance, isn't it? We still have to add our diameter, this one, to close up the shape. So it's going to be 2 times pi times 3 because it's a radius, and then divided by 2 because it's only half circle, and then we have to close up the shape by adding our diameter. So put all that in your calculator, you will get something like 15.4247779 and we want it to be in the 2 decimal places. So I'm just going to count up to 2. So 15.42. Now the third place is 4, less than 5. So we're going to ignore that. And then our unit is meters. Now next one, it's the same shape, we just have to find the area. Now we do know the radius is 3 meters, so we'd have to work it out. Now, second step is now using area formula. Area formula is pi r squared. Now that's going to give us the full circle, area of the full circle. And we only have half. So I'm going to divide it by 2. Now you probably noticed here, whatever we do on the circumference, like here, divided by 2, didn't we? You've got to do the same thing on the area. You've got to do divided by 2. Okay, so let's solve this one. So it'll be pi times radius is 3 squared, and then divided by 2. And then put it all in your calculator, you'll get 410.137 ... equals, I just want to have 2 decimal places, 14, because the third place is 5 or bigger than 5, we'll round it up to the next. So 3 becomes 4. And the unit is meter squared because it's area. So let's have a look at part B. Now, first step is to find the radius. So I'm going to have to find my radius. R equals here. It's the radius here. Okay, 10 meters. All right. And second, because we have to find the circumference, we use the circumference formula. And the formula is 2 times pi times r. Now, have a look at this. This is not semicircle. This is actually a quarter. If you chopped it off in a 4 exactly equally, this is one of them, okay? So I'm going to put divided by, instead of divided by 2, I have to do divided by 4, okay? Then I will get one of these when I divide by 4, okay? Now, this part, it's only the curved part, round part, okay? So what we have to do now, add the radius and another radius, because there's 2 radius that we need to work on, right? 2. So to close the shape, we need to add radius twice. Okay, so now I'm going to put all the values here. 2 times pi times radius 10 divided by 4, because it's a quarter of a circle we're looking at, and the radius is 10. Radius is 10. That'll give me the whole, all around the quarter of the circle, the diagram that we have. Now put that all in your calculator, you will get 35.70796 ... and we want it to be in the 2 decimal places, so 35.71, because the third place is 5 or bigger than 5, rounded up to the next number, which is 0, becomes 1, and our unit is meter. Next one, area. Now we do know our radius, don't we? So we have our radius equals 10. I'm just going to put it there, meters. And formula we are going to use is area equals pi r squared. Again, from previous question, if we looked at, it's divided by 4, isn't it? Divided by 4 here. So we got to do the same thing. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing, divided by 4. Okay, so after that, we just have to put it in, because with area, we don't really need to add anything. All you have to do is just using the formula, and according to the diagram, you divide it by 2, divided by 4, something like that. So now here, we're doing pi times r is 10 squared divided by 4. Now put all that in your calculator, you will get 78.5398 ... equals 78.54 meter squared. Okay, for 2 decimal places again, because the third number was 9, so it's rounded up to the next number. Part C. This is something different. Why? Because it's got an angle in there. Now, let's have a look at these first. So these are the radius, so I'm just going to put 1 meters there. Something that I haven't seen is that 120 degrees. Now these ones are not regular shape of like it's semicircle or quarter of a circle. It's quite different. It's like a sector shape. We need to use the sum of angles in a circle. Okay? It's 360. Why is it 360? Because when you quarter them, or even half the circle, you will get 180 on both 180. So when you add 180 plus 180, it will be 360. Or you could just do 90 times 4 equals 360, because when you quarter divided by 4, each section will be 90. Okay, so if you do 90 times 4, you will get 360. That's why angle sum of circle is 360. First, we need to find radius, 1 meter. And then second, because it's a circumference, we're going to use C equals 2 times pi times r, but it's going to be only 120 degrees out of 360. So this time we're going to use times by, not divided by, times by 120 degrees out of 360 degrees. That's the only thing we're going to look at. Okay, we're not looking at a whole 360 degrees. We're only looking at 120 degrees, because the diagram we are looking at, it says only 120. Now that, it's going to be the curved part. You see that this curve, it's only going to give me the length of this curved part. So what I have to do now, I have to add, plus it to red eye here. So it's going to be r plus r, so that it'll be all closed up shape, and we can get the circumference of all around this shape. So let's have a look. 2 times pi times 1, because radius is 1, 120 degrees out of 360 degrees, plus 1 plus 1. Now put all that in your calculator. What I will get is 4.09439 ... and I want just 2 decimal places. So what I've got here is 4.09 meters. Now make sure when you do this 120 degrees over 360, it doesn't really matter. You don't have to put degrees. You just use fraction button on your calculator. Okay, and if you want to use all in this step, all onto one calculator, just use the brackets. Okay, so put it all in the brackets in a calculator, whatever it says, and then put plus 1 in your calculator. It will give you 4.09. Area is a lot simpler than a circumference. So the radius we got is 1 meters. Okay, so that's 1 meter, and that's 1 meter. And area equals pi r squared times, okay, so if we look at the previous one, again, I'm going to emphasize, what do? We times it, didn't we? We times the 120 over 360. So that's what I'm going to do for this one. That's all you have to do. You don't have to add anything. It just, we want to know the area of this circular shape that has 120 degrees. So I'll put that in with all the values I know. Pi times r is 1 square times 120 degrees over 360 degrees. Put it all that in your calculator, you will get 1.047 ... and we just want to know the 2 decimal places, and 7 is bigger than 5, so it's rounded up, meter squared. All right, next one has the angle as well. So, but we know what to do with angles, don't we? And we do know that that's our radius and that's our another radius. Radius is always the same. So let's have a look. First step is find our radius. R equals 24 meters. And second, I want to know my circumference. So C equals 2 times pi times radius times, I'm going to have to looking at just 210 degrees over 360 degrees. That's all we're going looking at. We're not looking at the whole circle, only the 210 degrees part. Now that's just going to give me the curve part of this circular shape. So I need to add my radius. Now guys, just for your interest, instead of keep going around this plussing a 2 radius, you could just plus 1d if you want to, which is double of radius. 2 times 24 equals 48. If you want, you don't have to. If you want to do that, you can do that. But then you have to calculate the diameter. So you might just do r plus r. Okay. Now let's put that in. 2 times pi times radius is 24 times 210 over 360 plus radius 24 plus radius 24. Now put all that. You can actually put all this into your calculator one go. Okay? If you do that, you will get 135.9645 and the answer in the 2 decimal places 135.96 because third number is less than 5, so I'm going to ignore that. So the answer is 135.96 meters. So let's have a look. We know that that's 24. That's also 24. So R is 24 meters. Now, area equals pi times r squared. That's going to be full circle. We just want to know 210 degrees out of 360 parts. That's all we want to know. Nothing special. So if you put that in your calculator, you will get 1055.575 and in the 2 decimal places 58 meter square because third one is 5 or bigger than 5, so 5 is included, so it's going to be rounded up. Okay, so that's what we got. Part E, I got this red star sign next to it. It means it's going to be tricky. Okay, so I'm going to go a little bit slower with this one. We will see. When we're looking at the diagram, it says something is missing here. So we have radius here. That's not a problem. 33 meters. But we're missing something. We don't have angle here. Okay? We don't have angle here. Because whereas the other ones, we were given angle here. But good thing is we have the other angle, okay, the other angle here, 90 degrees. Okay, so I think we can manage to find this unknown angle right now. So let's have a look. First, our radius is 33 meters. Now second, extra step, find the angle that we need. Angle sum of the circle is a 360 degrees, right? And if I take away 90, this 90, I will get the other angle that I need to find, which is 270 degrees. So angle here is 270 degrees here. Okay, so that's done. Okay, so now we can go on to the normal business here. So we are looking for circumference. So C equals 2 times pi times R times by 270 degrees 360. Okay, so that's only this part. So I need to add radius plus radius because there's a 2 radius that I need to close up this shape. Substitute in 2 times pi times 33 because the radius 33, 270 over 360 plus 33 plus 33. Put all that in your calculator, okay? Put all that in once in your calculator using the brackets and a fraction button. You will get 221.5088 and I want it to be in a 2 decimal places 51 meters. Okay, so radius and angle and then formula. Okay, so let's have a look at the area. What are we going to find area here? Let's have a look. We know that radius is 33 meters, so I'm just going to put that in there. And also, we know that from the previous question, we know that that's going to be 270 degrees. Okay, so we want to find the area equals pi times r square times, we just want to know the area of part of a circle, not the whole thing. So when you put that in, pi times 33 squared times 270 360. When you put in a calculator, you don't have to put degrees in there. Just use the fraction button, the fraction button here. Okay. And put that all in your calculator, you will get 2,565.8958 ... Now this is going to be a little bit tricky here. When we're looking at third number, it's 5. So it's going to be rounded up, isn't it? It's going to go to round it up 1. And that 9 becomes 10. So it has to go into one more here. So it becomes 90 here. Okay, so the answer will be 2565.90 meter squared. Now think very carefully about that because we round it up from 5 to 9 and 9 becomes 10. So we have to put 0 here. And then we move the 1 to the next number, which is 8. That becomes 9. Last question. Okay, let's have a look at that. Now, what was the first step? It was finding our radius is 42 meters. That's my radius. That's my radius. Now, second step, we don't have angle here at the moment. So this is the angle I'm talking about. Okay, so how are we going to find the angle? Good thing about it, it's this part is 60, so I can go 360 degrees take away 60 degrees equals 300 degrees. So here our angle is 300 degrees. Okay, because angle sum of a circle is 360. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the question. Circumference is 2 times pi times r. We'll give you a full circle circumference, but we don't want to do that. We just want to know only 300 degrees out of 360 circumference. That's what we want to know. And that's only for the curved part. We want to know the straight line part, which is the radius and radius. Okay, we have to put the numbers in first. Okay, so 2 times pi times radius is 42 and 300 over 360 plus 42 plus 42. Now we can put all that in a calculator. You will get 303.911 dot dot dot, and that will give me 303.91 meters for my circumference. So now we're looking at the area. Let's have a look at the area. So we know the radius is 42 meters. That's radius. And the angle here from the previous question, we know that it's a 300 degrees. So the area equals pi r squared will give me the full circle. I don't want a full circle. I just want to know the area for 300 degrees out of 360. Now put all that in your calculator with substitution in, of course. 42 squared, 300. Now put it all in a calculator. You will get 4,618.14120 dot dot dot, and I just want to have 2 decimal places, so 4618.14, because the third place is less than 5, so I don't have to worry about rounding up. I can just ignore it. So the answer is 4,618.14. Okay, that's all for today's lesson. Well done.